Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I refer to Allah, our lecturer, bila lecturer, Dr. Dania, and also my fellow friends. So our group from group 8 include Shamil, Anas, and also me, Shafiq. We want to introduce our essay presentation, which title is Diversity Among the Spiralian. So everyone can refer to the manual textbook page 522 until 530. Alright, for this slide is a spiralia. So I want to introduce what is a spiralia. Spiralia is a diverse group of protostorm. So refer to this diagram. Also, everyone can refer to the manual textbook page maybe 514. So this image, this diagram, this is a protostorm development. They divide to the two motif of cortical and spiral cleavage. At the spiral cleavage, divide to two also, which is platezoa and lophotrozoa. So platezoa and lophotrozoa is the two large group of spiralia. Lophotrozoa include annelide, mollusks, and lophophorids, while platezoa include flatworm and rotifer. So for the next, our group member can explain more about detail for lophotrozoa, and why me explain more about flatworm and rotifer as platezoa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, we will continue with Lophotrochosa in group Lophophorans. Okay, what is Lophophorans? Lophophorans is considered as a lineage of protostorm that include the Birozoan and Bichopod. Okay, it's also nowadays many research that give evidence that they analysis a small subunit of ribosome RNA and other genes that suggest there are many evolutionary relationships between the Lophophorans and more complex. But during our studies right now in Atasi, we just need to focus on three close related groups of Lophophorans, which is Birozoans, the Bichiopods, and the Phoronids. Okay, this is a three type of Lophophorans, which is Bryozoans, Bichiopods, and Phoronids. Okay. First is Birozoan, phylum Brotoa. So, what is the characteristic? Okay, so the characteristic is, first, they are colonial Lophophorans that live in aquatic. Okay, then they are made of zooids. They are single member of colony that cooperate as a single organism. So they stick together and make a single organism. So they are specialized in reproduction. Some are specialized in the reproduction. Some are specialized for getting a food by filter particles that float in water by using the Lophore. Okay, Lophore is some type of organ that used by this organism to get a food. And some of zooids specialized in both activities. So how they communicate to run all this activity? So they have chemical signal. So they have special characteristic, which is they have protective exoskeleton. Okay, this is example of Bryozoan. Okay, next we go to Brachiopods, which is phylum Brachiopoda. Okay, it's a small group. So what is a characteristic of Brachiopods? So first, they are a small of Lophophorans that have two shaded shells. As we can see, after this we will learn about mollusks. So they look like mollusks, but they are not mollusks. So instead of they have left and right shell, they have brachiopods that have top and bottom shell. So they often, we can find them, they found a fixed or attached. So fixed means attached themselves to a hard surface with a muscular pedicle. So they also use Lophoray to feed for feed process by filtering particles from the water. Okay, this is the picture of example of brachiopods. Okay, next is Phoronics. Which is phylum Phoronilla. Okay, this is characteristic of Phoronics. Okay, first, it lives inside a long tube that forms from its own chitinous secretion. So they produce or secrete some chitin named chitinous secretion, like that. And then the tube is buried in the ground. Only the Lophoray is absent from it. You know the Lophoray that filter water to gain food. So until nowadays, there are 15 species of Phoronids that exist worldwide. So this is the example of Phoronids. As you can see here, like I say that the tube is stored in the ground and the Lophoray is on the ground, like this. So that's all from me. That's all for the first group, which is Lophophorans. Okay, so let's submit to another topic.
It's Tocozoan, the second major group of the Tocozoan. First is mollusks. They inhabit marine, freshwater, and terrestrial habitats. The phylum of mollusks including chickens, limpets, slug, snails, abalone, conch, nudibranch, clams, oysters, scallops, squids, and octopus. The three-part body plan is a visceral mass, mentals, and food. The mantle is a covering that lines to either side of the visceral mass, but not closely enclosed. Most mollusks have an open circulatory system. That means the heart pumps hemolymph through vessel into hemocoel or sinus. After that, we have a bivalve. Bivalve have a two-part shell that is hinged and closed by one or two powerful aggregatory muscles. Example for bivalve is clams. Clams, the shell is composed of protein and calcium carbonate that cause a mother of pearl. The circulatory system is open, just like a mollusk. The nerve system is composed of three pairs of ganglia which are connected by nerve. Bivalve have two-part shell. First is scallop. The scallop clad their valve and swing by jet repulsion. They have sensory organs such as blue eyes and tentacle on metal. Muscles form a dense patch in the intertidal zone of mountain shores. Next is gastropods. Gastropods is the largest class of mollusks, such as slugs, snails, whales, conch, limpets, and nudibranch. Most of their is marine. Have an elongated pattern foot. Most have a one piece. Have the three part of mollusks. The foot is muscular, elongated, and patterned. For the lens nest, they are hermaphroditic. We have cephalopods or squid. Have tentacles and or arms in place of head. Both squid and octopus can squish their metal cavity to out the water. They have a well-developed sense organs, just like eyes that focus like a camera. And for octopus, they have a well-developed brains that have a capacity for learning. Lastly, we have analyze. Analyze is only the for the one that have some segmentation and well-developed brain. Example group member of annelids is earthworm, marine worm, and leech. For the earthworm, they are scavengers that feed on leaf or any other organism. Have a closed circulatory system. That means the blood is always contained in the blood vessels. It are hermaphroditic, just like a land snail. Then we have marine worms. For example, we have a crane worm. They are predator. Crane worm or nereis is a cephalites. After that, we have a titworm. Titworm have a radius used to gather food. Then leech. Leech live in freshwater habitats. They have no setae and each body ring have a several transverse grooves. Most leech are fused breeder. Today, leech medicinal leech used for help the people.
So hi everyone, we meet again. So this slide, I want to explain which is a platyzoan. So platyzoan is a second group of Spiralian. Before that, Leptozoa is a first group, while platyzoa is second group of Spiralia. So I give more detail in the manual textbook. I refer to the manual textbook, which is a flatworm, as flatworm. So flatworm is a phylum Phaeotihomines, or maybe something like that pronounced. So phylum Phaeotihomines. So flatworm is a platyzoan with a extremely flat body. Like Synovians, so this Synovian is an aquatic organism. So like Synovian, flatworm also has a set body plan with one opening, which is at the mouth. So with the single opening, it called incomplete digestive tract, where two opening, it called the complete digestive tract. So the flatworm no body cavity, instead the third germ layer. So this third germ layer is important for the locomotion of flatworm. So mesoderm is also mesoderm fills between their organ. So before I want to explain more about it, I want to explain what is a planarian. So the planarian is a group of non-parasitic flatworm, which is referred to the textbook. It gives free-living flatworm. So the free-living flatworm is a type group of non-parasitic, which is free-living flatworm is a planarian. Why? For the flax and tapeworm, flax also can call tremodetids, while tapeworm can also as septus. So flax and tapeworm is a parasitic flatworm. This slide, I want to introduce what is a free-living flatworm. In the manual textbook, page 527, so if the example Dugesia. Dugesia is a planarian, non-parasitic flatworm which live in freshwater lake, stream and pond. So it feeds on small living or dead organisms. How? First, capture food by rapid prey. Next, attacking its line. Then pinning it down. When near to the muscular pharynx, in the planarian is called muscular pharynx. When muscular pharynx extends through mouth, the prey, when they capture food by planarian, can involve a sucking motion take piece of prey into the pharynx. But I said before that it's a feed of small organism by planarian. So it shows planarian digestive system. So in this refer to this diagram, figure 28.22. Refer to the main textbook, page 527. This is a iPod. This is auricle. So our iPods, it is a two pigmented, like sensitive eye spot on the top of head. So auricle. This is auricle. Auricle is a bluntly arrowed shape with lateral extension. The function auricle is a detect potential food source and enemies. So maybe like that. So planarian, this is auricle. So auricle detect a food. So auricle detect food. It's okay. Planarian can eat. So it can wrap the prey. So planarian digestive system occur. For the next is a planarian excretory system. It is important, we want to remind our mindset, planarian excretory system is a water excretion. In the planarian, as consists excretory organ such as excretory pore, Plancet. In the plancet is a excretory canal, cilia, plancet and fluid. It's also, everyone can refer to the manual textbook, page 527. So, this planarian excretory system is want to excrete the water. It's simple. It want to excrete the water. So for the next is a planarian reproductive system. So in the planarian reproductive system involve two, which is sexually reproduction and asexually reproduction. So planarian involve two reproduction, sexually and asexually. So sexually reproduction is called monoecious. It also can call hermaphroditic. So in this monoecious concept, 2 in 1. Why I say 2 in 1? Because both male and female sex organ and gamete in a single individual. So refer to the figure, refer to the diagram 28.24 on the manual textbook page 528. This is ovary, this is a spermidate, this is testis. So it's a clear male and female sex organ in one single individual. So how it form? How monoecious occur? When one crown fertilized, penis in the genital chamber inserted into the genital pore. I am sorry, it's some wrong correction. It is some wrong in this. So refer to this diagram. Penis in genital chamber inserted to the genital pore. When it occur, planarian give and receive the sperm, and then fertilization occur. So fertilized egg can enclose in cocoon and hatch in 2 or 3 weeks as tiny worm. So this is a monoecious sexually reproduction of planarian. Why the regeneration for the sexually reproduction of planarian? Maybe everyone know regeneration is spread too. So in this planarian is involved tail of planarian. So when tail of planarian is break off, each part grow. It's a divide too. So it grow and into new worm. It's a simple. So planarian has ability to regenerate. Why it called regenerative medicine? For this slide, I want to introduce the nervous system of planarian and locomotion of planarian. So refer to this diagram. This is a planarian nervous system. It involve ganglia, lateral nerve cord, and transverse nerve. When two lateral nerve cord there is, and transverse nerve plus two lateral nerve cord plus transverse nerve, it forms like ladder. So this is a ladder type, is a nervous system of planarian. So locomotion of planarian. So planarian move when movement of cilia on ventral and lateral surface. It consists 3 kind muscle layer: outer circular layer, inner longitudinal layer, and diagonal layer. So 3 layer is important for the locomotion of planarian. So for the parasitic flatworm. So before that, I also said the flax and tapeworm are parasitic flatworm. So I give this video for you everyone. I hope this video can help more understand what's a life cycle of flax and life cycle of tapeworm.
Infected humans pass schistosome eggs through their feces or urine into fresh water. These eggs then hatch into larvae and infect certain species of snails. After a period of development in the snail, they're released back into the water in a form called cercari. The cercari swim and penetrate the skin of a human and can enter the body of someone using the water. Once in the body, they find their way through the lungs and into the liver, where they grow into adult worms. They then migrate into blood vessels surrounding specific organs, where they can live for many years. Some species of schistoazoma like to live around the bowel, whereas other species prefer living around the bladder. These adults can lay thousands of eggs a day. Some of the eggs find their way back into the water through urine or feces and start the life cycle again, but some eggs get trapped in the organs.
We meet again. So for the last before I end our group discussion, I want to introduce the rotifer. Rotifer is related to flatworm. So this is a corona. Corona is a crown of cilia on the rotifer. So when in motion, corona look like spinning wheel, serve organ of locomotion and direct food into mouth. That's all for me. I hope everyone can clear my explanation and also my other group member explanation. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.